Plaintiff Ashley Caruso claims her ex-roommate was a party animal whose drunken friends destroyed their apartment. She's suing for $3,100. Defendant Raina Palmer says the plaintiff turned out to be a violent homewrecker and a sugar baby. She's countersuing for $1,575 for damage to their apartment.
And nothing but the truth?
Yes.
The Honorable Judge Jerry now presiding. Good morning, Judge. This is case number 255 on the docket, Caruso versus Palmer.
Okay, thank you, Najee. Welcome to both of you. And what I see here is Ashley Caruso. You are suing the defendant, Raina Palmer, for $3,100, which includes her selling furniture, your furniture, when you were out of town. Apparently you guys were roommates, and also for a deposit that you claim you never got back. The defendant, Raina Palmer, you are denying what she says, and you are also countersuing for $1,575. Okay, so let's get started now, and I'm going to start with you, Ashley. Why don't you tell us your side of the story?
Okay, Judge Jerry. Well, I would like to start by saying that regardless of selling my furniture or not giving me back the deposit, take all that away, and me and Raina were actually really friends. It's not only about that, but I'm actually really hurt. It started in the beginning. We were hanging out all the time, and then that quickly turned into, well, you should move in. And I jumped right into it. It was like an extended sleepover with your best friend. And we had a lot of good times, but they quickly started to lessen, and it became almost unbearable. I was constantly
Why was that?
I was constantly being accused of things. She would accuse me of stealing her food or taking her stuff, which I do not understand. She would also say that I stole her makeup and took, some of her personal belongings. But if you look at me and you look at her, we wouldn't even wear the same color makeup. My theory is that all the friends she would have over constantly were the ones who were taking her stuff, which is honestly the most unbearable thing, was constantly having company over. Unruly guests, okay, drunk, obnoxious people who would tear up, eat my stuff, which I never even complained about, would constantly be there. Like, coming home to to our place was no longer something I actually wanted to do.
I did. I regularly had some friends over, and we liked to have fun, so we would drink a little bit.
Now, what exactly are you suing her for?
So, about April 20th, I had a sit down with Raina saying, okay, this is no longer a situation I want to be in anymore. I'm going to move out. We had a nice civil conversation. It was understood. Do what you got to do. If while I'm gone, you need to tour the apartment, find a roommate, whatever. I had to take a trip. I had to deal with some family stuff back home. So I was going to return May 1st to get my stuff out and to leave. It is May 3rd. And I come home to what's basically an empty apartment because all the big, everything in the common spaces was mine. So I come home and my leather sofa is gone that I spent $1,250 on of my hard-earned money that I actually have a receipt for, was just vanished. That was sitting on top of an area rug, like a decorative, nice rug that I had spent, I have it all here. I had spent $175 on the rug. The coffee table was missing. That was $200. The big flat screen TV was $800, and that was also missing. But it gets better. I went into my bedroom, and my bed was gone. So I come home to basically all my stuff, and initially I thought, oh, she put it in storage because someone else has to move in, which I would understand. But now she sold it, and I feel that she had no right to do so.
Okay. So what do you say to that, Raina?
We were really good friends at first. It wasn't until about 2 months into living there that I started having problems getting the rent money from her. So we had this agreement that you would pay half of the rent and half of the utilities. But I wasn't getting the money off the bat. At the first of the month, which is when the rent was due, you only gave me part of the money, or you wouldn't give it to me at all, and then I would have to wait until the middle of the month to do that. So I had to work extra hours every single month just to pay all of the rent up front, just so I could like wait for her to give me her other half of the rent.
When you moved in with her, was there a lease? In other words, did you sign a lease? I'm trying to figure out what the rental arrangement was.
So she was already in the place.
Did you ever sign a lease?
I didn't want to get added to her lease, but her and I had a verbal agreement about me paying half the rent and half the utilities.
But there was no formal written.
We had a written agreement.
You had a written agreement?
Yes.
It wasn't notarized. It wasn't professional. We both signed a paper. It was really silly that we did that. But honestly, the only time that I was late was 1 month, and that was January, I
Okay.
think, and the rest was on time.
How many months did you pay her your share of the rent?
So I moved in December, and then I moved out the 1st of May.
So 5 months. So for 5 of those months, you were paying half the rent.
Yes, I was.
And how much?
About 400 plus utilities. On the hotter months, it was more. So give or take 50 to 75 extra on top of the 400.
So it was about $475 a month you were paying the rent.
And then I found out that she was a sugar baby. So a sugar baby is basically a woman who sleeps with older men for money. And I want to get one thing straight. I support women and what they decide to do with their bodies. And if that's how they want to make their income, then I do support that. And I wouldn't mind living with someone who decides to do that if the income weren't so unreliable.
What I do with my body or how I get my money is absolutely no business of hers or anyone else's. Also, there was only one time that I paid late, and that was it. The rest was on time. It's $400.
Okay.
Do not make me out to be a fool, because $400, and especially if I'm this sugar baby, I was getting money. So don't act like you weren't getting paid.
But where
what
was it
you do with
going?
the money after I give it to you is your business. And you know what? Your name's on the lease. So do I care? Not really.
For whatever reason, you guys got angry with each other. You said she was late with the payment that month, whatever. But you still made a decision when she left town for a week or two. You still sold her furniture without her permission. That seems an amazing response to someone just not being late with the payment for a month. You don't own that furniture. What did you do with that money, and how much did you get for selling it?
I sold it because I had to. It wasn't just that she was not paying me rent on time. There were several times where she would come home from work and she would be on the phone with a boyfriend or a friend, or something would be going on. Work didn't go how she wanted it to, and she would kick a hole in the wall, or she would punch a hole in the wall. One time, my friend had a little bit too much, and I was helping him down to his Uber, but he was kind of, being a little silly, and he wouldn't leave. I didn't ask Ashley to interject, but she did, and they got into a physical altercation, and they ended up breaking the door, and she didn't even offer to help me pay for it. I had to pick up the tab for that, and I had to pick up the tab to pay for the holes in the wall that she broke, and I had to pay for all of these other things in the apartment that she had broken. I found out probably 2-3 months into her living with me that she had slept with my boyfriend.
Did you know that as a fact, or was that just a rumor?
Well, so I found out about it from him.
Is he telling the truth?
Yes, and I did not disclose that to her. So, I didn't feel that I had to.
Oh, okay. No, all right. Okay, that's separate.
But
okay,
yeah,
so
it's true.
And that wouldn't have been that big of a problem for me if they didn't continue hanging out like it was nothing.
I understand you didn't want to room with her anymore, but it still doesn't give you the right to go and sell another person's furniture. There's no reason for that. Now, in your countersuit, you send pictures with your file, the damage, at least some of the damage you allege somebody did in your house. All right, the top of the toilet, the top part is gone. The bathroom door is missing. What do you mean it's missing? Did you look around the house to find it? Where? You know, how do you hide a bathroom door?
I did break that, but defending her and helping her.
I didn't ask you to do that, though.
But your friend
There
wouldn't
was-
leave and he was acting crazy, so I stepped in. Did
Okay.
I mean to break the door? No.
What happened with this? Is this the Last Supper?
So that frame cost $300 with the glass in the frame included. And Ashley and I...
And Ashley, you admit that you're responsible for that?
Yeah, her
For
and
the
I.
breaking of the...
Sure, I can take ownership for that. It was an accident, but I did do it.
But those two, the door and the painting, are mistakes. You know, you're taking responsibility, but nevertheless, you didn't do it intentionally. What about these two pictures? Kicking a hole in the wall? Did you do that?
Your Honor, I have no part of that. I'm pretty sure that was the guests and the people over. I wouldn't just go around damaging stuff for no reason
Okay.
or on purpose.
All right.
So nope, wasn't me.
Okay.
This photo with the hole in the wall, that
Yeah.
was right outside of the bathroom door. That happened at the same exact time that the door was broken down by
So
Ashley.
add that into the bathroom door,
Okay.
but also was unintentional.
Do you have the receipts for the damage you're alleging she did?
Unfortunately, no, I do not have the receipts for it, but I do remember how much it was, which is submitted.
Okay, here's the deal. All the other issues aside, when two people live together in the same residence and they have friends and they have parties and it's pretty hard to keep a running total while you're roommates of exactly who made that mark on the wall, who kicked that, who broke that, vase or whatever. That's, when you're roommates, one of the things you take on is that you take on a little bit of the lifestyle of your roommate and some of the mistakes of your roommate. That's inevitable. Do you guys think you're ever going to be friends again, despite this lawsuit, Ashley?
Could we be friends again? Sure, maybe. Will there still be resentments and grudges? Probably. So could it be possible? Yeah. Is it gonna happen? No.
What do you say, Rain?
No, I don't think so. I definitely feel attacked by you, and I don't think that you can come back from that.
I guess you're both going to think twice about who a new roommate will be.
You can bet that much.
You sued her for $3,100.
Yes.
I start out by saying, based on the receipts that you sent me, or the receipts we have, but I can only go by the evidence that is before this court. And the receipts you have for the TV, for the leather couch, for the bed, the speakers, and I add that up, so I come to $2,650. On the security deposit, I'm not awarding you that because property is damaged there, so I'm not sure anybody should get the security deposit based on that. Now, on the other hand, you, Raina, have countersued the $300 on the painting, which she admits to, for the damage. On that, she should pay. But on the holes in the wall, there is no evidence in front of me as to who did it, when it happened, no picture of the person actually doing it. In other words, we can't run courts where people just hand me pictures and they don't prove the actual allegation. So I am deducting the $300 for the painting, and so for the plaintiff, $2,350, and the countersuit by the defendant is dismissed. Well, good luck to both of you.
Thanks. This entire situation, I feel, is based off revenge. She was really hurt that I had slept with her boyfriend. But in my opinion, if I slept with your boyfriend 10 times in a row, that's still not a good enough reason to sell my stuff behind my back.
I didn't feel safe in my own environment, and I feel like she showed her true colors during the time that I was living with her.
I still haven't got an apology. And yes, I'm winning my claim, but I still feel like she should not have done that to me. So I don't think I'm gonna be able to get past it. So as far as the friendship, I don't think so.
I'm not sorry for selling your stuff.